decision.
Wake up, I gotta go get it. Wake up, I gotta go get it.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, College Couch Podcast back in session. What's going on, y'all? Listen here. I'm not gonna go off just yet about this past weekend with my dogs, but welcome back, y'all. Javaris and Stackz, Rich forever in the building. A crazy week 10 with X amount of upsets. What we looking at 3 or 4 upsets, and man. Listen here, I can't form the words that I want to say about Week 10 because you had A&M losing on the road, you had a near disaster in Jacksonville, you had a potential. Me and Stackz have been saying that this man James Franklin has probably been cleaning out his office, and then it was one more that I'm missing. Which one am I missing? It was one more. Oh, Clemson losing to Louisville.
Yeah.
So yeah, bro, it's just been it was a wild Week 10. But as always, welcome back, College House Podcast, again in session. We're not gonna waste any time here. We got 4 matchups for y'all, the ones that we just listed off. Let's just get right into it. Let's start off with you want to start off with Georgia, Florida, or you want to start with Ohio State?
That's fine. I mean, there's not much to unpack there.
It's not.
Y'all
but
still won at the end of the day, no matter how it look. I mean,
and that's the thing. I get we won, but it's in the fashion that we won. You know what I'm saying? Like
what they say, it don't matter how it look, long as you get it done.
Yeah, I guess. But man, it's just like
so you want y'all to be perfect every week.
I don't no.
You want y'all to be dominant, blow everybody out.
I'm not saying that at all, but at the same time, it's the mistakes this late in the season that really just grind my gears. Like the way the game is played is what really drives me up a wall. Like the mistakes that you're making, that you should be making, maybe like earlier in the season, like to really just shake off the rust of not playing for a while. For those mistakes to be happening this late in the season is what really just makes me want to just.
Well, I mean, beginning of the season in college football, you play teams that you supposed to dominate, and then in November, that's usually when you play, the teams that are of relevance. From late October throughout November.
Right.
That's why they say don't lose in November. If you're gonna lose in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Bad game from Beck. Some mistakes, some here and there, but
yeah,
at the end of the day, you won. You let us. That's why I always say, football is a team sport. Like one part of the puzzle has a bad game, the other part of the puzzle has to pick it up.
Yeah.
So you can complain all you want about how bad it looked, but you still won by 2 touchdowns to add. So,
yeah.
Had it been different, if Lagway wouldn't have got hurt, we don't know. We can say all day long that we felt that it would have been, but I just don't think it would have been much different. I just think it'd have been more of a fight for Florida, but we said before, Florida's playing like they got nothing to lose. I mean,
right, and that's exactly where I was gonna go next. Like from my perspective, as a realistic fan, man, that's the type of game that you kind of want to see in Jacksonville. Like, like that's what you want to see, especially the way that Florida has struggled. You want to see a close matchup because you want the fans to get what they pay for. But as a Georgia fan, you're like, man, this is exactly what I was talking about last week with Georgia struggling with mobile quarterbacks. DJ Lagway has never played in a Georgia-Florida game. This is his first one. So for him to come out the gate like that the way he did, pretty impressive. I will give him that. And, as far as the injury goes, you hate to see that. Like, I was genuinely upset because he was giving our defense fits early in the game. So, prayers to him. Hopefully he's, able to come back for the remainder of the season. But, man, I was telling some Florida fans, I was just like, man, like, regardless of, of the of the superstitions you guys may believe in as Florida fans, I genuinely think DJ Lagway can be the future of Florida if y'all decide to move forward with him. Like, of course, they now have two quarterbacks who are down. With Graham Mertz and now DJ Lagway, and they had to start a third string who transferred from Yale. You know what I'm saying? So
all right.
It's looking a little bleak for Florida, but I genuinely want Florida fans to realize all hope is not lost. The way y'all played in Jacksonville last week really gives a lot of optimism, in my opinion.
I mean, for that day, because if that was the case, then I had a lot of optimism coming into the season as an Auburn fan, putting up 73 points. I mean, every week is going to be something different. The third string has to be the starter now going forward. I mean, and then it's not like it's hard to find your groove now, because it's November.
Yeah.
And we literally have 4 more weeks of regular season college football left. So, I mean, if you can look toward the future, yeah, that's a lot of optimism there. But for the rest of the season, I mean, the writing's pretty much on the wall.
Well, when I say rest of the season, I mean just ride the season out at this point. But as far as next season,
choice.
That's what I'm saying. I
no
get
choice.
Yeah, right. But as far as next season goes, I genuinely think Lagway can lead that team.
I mean, next year I think it'll be something special for the. I mean, I would say depending on what they decide to do coaching wise, and you know what I'm saying, how the quarterback room shakes up. I mean, I think he's earned his stripes to become the starter for next year. But yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, with NIL and transfer portal and all that stuff, we don't know. You don't even know if we're gonna have the same team next year. You don't know who's talking about being in the portal or whatever until it's that time. So we don't never know. But I mean, all you can have is, as a fan, all you can do is hope that the glimpses that you saw are going to be more consistent next year. Because for me, my season pretty much over with. So I mean,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All I can do is just, watch and pray that, next year we look like we're supposed to look. So same thing with Florida. I mean, they not in the same boat as us, but
let me ask you this. Of course, it's pertaining to the 3 interceptions we saw from Carson Beck. I 2 were for sure his fault. Like, I mean, not really going through his reads, his progressions. It's really insane to, from the beginning of the season, this man was pretty much touted as a Heisman hopeful. He was really one of the top returning quarterbacks this season. And now it's just like, brother, we're just fighting to stay alive at this point. So give me your perspective on.
I mean, it's a lot of different things, a lot of different factors. I mean, like I said, beginning of the season, you playing teams that you're supposed to beat, that you're more talented than, and that you're basically outmatched. You're supposed to win those games. And then he ran into a Clemson early that didn't have an identity. So I mean, not saying that Georgia didn't fairly beat Clemson or didn't do what they were supposed to do to beat Clemson. They did that. But again, it was a Clemson team that was not the Clemson team that, leading up to Louisville was, it was a different team. And then there's another factor. It's hard being a college quarterback for a big school because every mistake you make, everybody's critiquing you. Everybody is, like, for instance, a lot of people last year were talking about how, decent he was playing and everything like that within himself. He didn't throw a lot of picks. He was playing very well, but then you come this year, you have a bad game or you have, bad drive or whatever. Now the pressure comes. Now the fans are tearing you a new one, saying you can't get it done, talking about your appearance, asking why did you get your girlfriend? Like, I mean, and then I think these are still young people at the end of the day, so all of this stuff gets into your mind. So now you get on the field, you're trying to force a play instead of, You know what I'm saying? Letting the game come to you. And then,
Yeah.
Outside of forcing the play, you're trying to make sure everybody sees that you are who you are, and then you don't want to let your team. It's a lot of factors that go into it. I'm not making excuses, but that's what you see most of the time. How many times have we seen quarterbacks start off hot and then just get lost in the shuffle at the end of the season? Why? Because they're trying to make plays. Uh, Injuries happen. You know, just there's a lot of factors. I mean, you happen to be in uncomfortable situations a lot more, and then you playing teams that match well with you. Like for instance with Georgia with Bama, they match well with them, and we seen how he played first half of that. Second half, he was able to settle down, but it was a little bit too late then. So I mean, it's the same thing. I think. I mean, I still don't. I personally don't think he's a bad quarterback. Just think he's. I think he's putting too much pressure on himself, and he's unable to, from what I've seen, this might not be true, but from what I've seen, he's unable to separate the noise from the outside from the noise that's in the inside. Like, meaning, like, okay, the critics are talking, okay, I hear them, but I don't hear them. I'm going to just go out here and play my game and, let my game speak for itself. It seems like to me, he's just like, oh, I'm going to show them. I hear everything they're saying. It's creeping in my brain. Let me force a play. Let me force this. Let me put this there. You know what I'm saying? That's what it seems like to me because uh, up until the Bama game, I didn't see a lot of people talking bad about him.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's the thing too, like, you know me. When we play Bama, I always am like, I get super on edge when we play teams like Bama. Like the big games are really where I'm like, all right, bro. Like I genuinely don't know. Like it literally, like when we played Texas, like I was the same way. I just don't. I get that feeling in my gut, like, oh my god, like we're gonna struggle. Like we're gonna struggle this game. And that's exactly what happens when we play Alabama. We always struggle early. We're trying to fight for the finish, and we have finished, and then there's been some games where we haven't. So with that, I'm just like, where is there, or I'll say this: when is there going to be a time where we have these games where we're not going to struggle? It happened in Texas. Could it happen at home this week against Ole Miss? It's possible, but at the same time, it starts with our defense because we've seen, like how me and you talk, it's not necessarily our offense. It's Carson Beck, but the defense has shown up in great fashion these past 2 weeks. I've been very pleased with the way the defense has played, but the offense is really going to have to get it going early against Ole Miss, in my opinion. So, man, I mean, if y'all saw the way we saw, Jordan Watkins is a problem, and that was one of the guys we left off for our early predictions of just top guys that were returning. We put in his teammate Trey Harris, who has been unfortunately injured for the past couple of weeks, who could potentially return this week against Georgia. So it's just those big games that I really get a weird feeling about. So it
I mean, but even still, I mean, you guys are these guys are still pulling the games out. Like the only one you didn't pull out
yeah.
was Bama. That's the only time you didn't pull it out. So it's not like y'all are. It's not like y'all are disappearing in these games. Like, okay, Bama game, you disappeared first half, but thankful for y'all, football is 2 halves. It's 4 quarters.
Yeah.
So, you showed up second half. Although you didn't pull it out. You showed up and you kept the game to where it didn't get too far away from you. Because had they scored another touchdown first half, it might have got away. But
Yeah.
George, I mean, I think Georgia's gonna be all right. I mean, I think as of right now, I think Texas can beat Georgia. I just think they just got hit in the mouth, which is I think everybody is like that this year for the most
Wait, say
part. I
that.
don't
Say that one time. You said you think Texas can beat Florida,
be
or
Georgia.
if we play them again later on in the
Yeah,
season.
which I mean, I think is gonna happen. I think
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be the SEC championship.
Texas and Georgia.
That's what I think.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and I think Texas pulls that one out. But that's just my opinion. Because I think Texas wins out, and I think Georgia wins out. You
Mm.
know, but I mean, uh, yeah, I mean, I just think that y'all will have a good chance. Y'all will be okay.
Okay.
Like I mean, like I said, y'all find ways to finish games.
Right.
You find ways to finish games. So I
It's
mean,
it's that it's
uh,
that second half mentality that they have for
yeah, but I
sure.
mean, like college football is the only sport where I know you have to beat somebody by a lot to be considered good.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? In NFL, you can win by 1 point. It's a win. That's all
Yeah.
people care about. But
Yeah.
in college football, if you don't beat somebody by 4 touchdowns, oh, you struggle.
Right.
No, I mean this is football. We've all said it from the beginning, the talent gap is closing. So I
Mm.
mean, and then you run up against a team that has nothing to lose.
Right.
They're gonna play lights out because they already predicted to lose. So what more worse could happen?
But you know what's crazy that you say that? I feel like the reason college football is like that is because you got to think we came from that BCS era into the college football playoffs, where the BCS era it really kind of depended on how how much you beat a team by, and then with the college football playoffs, you have the committee who also take that type of stuff into consideration as well.
Right, right,
What's
right,
that? What was that point margin and did you cover the spread and stuff? Different factors. So
right.
I
And that's
think
what I'm
that's
saying. So
yeah
but that doesn't necessarily tell me that
constitutes constitutes a
you're
team
good.
being good.
That's not a good measurement of if you're good or not. Like
Right, right, right.
you beat a team in a rivalry game, and let's face it, Jacksonville is a daggone stomping ground for Florida. Like I mean, even though it's a lot of Georgia fans that come, let's be real. Like it's in Florida, in Jacksonville, down
Mhm.
not too far from come on. Like, but I mean, you still beat them in a it's a neutral site, but technically hostile territory. I mean, you still
Mhm.
in the state of Florida, you know. So, I mean, you did what you're supposed to do. Like, I mean, it didn't look pretty. Like, no win is gonna look pretty all the time. Like, nothing is gonna look like we're past those days, in my opinion. Like, you're gonna have some blowouts, of course, and some wins that just you pretty much do everything right. But I think it's gonna be limited now. Like we've seen it all year. Like teams that prime example, Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt usually is the punching bag of the SEC. Now they doing the punching. Like you know what I'm saying. So uh, it's always like it's changing now. So everything's not gonna look pretty. And I've always said it's not about the mistakes you made. It's how you bounce back from the mistakes you make. So okay, you threw 3 interceptions. So then what did you do after that? You know, I did see after he threw two, he was a little timid to throw the ball down the field,
Yeah.
but he started using his legs more.
Mhm.
And that could be a confidence booster.
Yeah.
Short passes, just get a couple completions. That could be a confidence booster. I mean, just things like because he easily could have threw them three and then been like, all right, I'm just being trash. I can throw. I'm
Yeah.
just throwing 3 or 4 more.
But
You
have
know
you
what I'm
noticed
saying?
also they Kirby and Mike Bobo they haven't looked for to bring in any of the backups when he
You
did when
know
he's
the
done that.
reason for that
Mm-hmm.
is because you want to keep, because still a long season. You got to think. Okay, we're in November, so we're finishing out strong. We have the quarterback that gives us the best option to win. I don't care what nobody else says. He gives you guys the best option to win. Might not be pretty all the time, but he gives you the best option to win. You know, um, but you want to keep that confidence because you got November. It finished out strong in November. Then you've got the SEC championship. Then you've got the playoffs, which is expanded now. So you're gonna need him for at least 4 or 5 weeks, for the championship. So if he loses his confidence now, and you know what I'm saying, you don't coach that up, you know what I'm saying, you can just pretty much kiss your offense goodbye. Because if you have no confidence going into those games, you know what I'm saying, you're already forcing it because you're listening to the outside noise.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna force it even more because now you're not trusting your teammates, you're not trusting yourself, you're not trusting your talent. You know what I'm saying? So good coaches, like for instance, like with Colorado, when Shador messes up, Dion have a conversation with him, but he don't get down on him. He lifts him up, like, all right, go back and get it. Or if a receiver drops a pass, you don't rip him. I mean, you rip him a new one, but you also let him know, like, you great. You go get it back. That's the thing with football. You got 4 downs. You got 4 downs. You throw a pick, okay, they got the ball back, but guess what? You get the ball right back. You know what I'm saying? So you have every opportunity to redeem yourself. So, and I think with Kirby and them are doing a good job of it, just keeping him confident and trying to let him know, like, you're the guy. Like, you're the guy that we want. You know what I'm saying? And that's good. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, I can see if it's a championship game and he's struggling like that, I understand you pulling him if you trust your backup that much. But that's rare that you're gonna have a backup come in that's game ready. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not afraid of the moment, not afraid of the team, and is ready to ball out. So, that's a tricky situation, you know.
Let me ask you this. I got 2 questions for you. Pertaining to Florida, I still want to make sure Florida is highlighted before we go on a tangent about Georgia. Number 1, where do you see things heading with Coach Billy Napier?
Oh, he's out of here. That's easy. He's out of here.
After this season, he's gone.
Yeah, I mean, well,
Okay.
I mean, you have not proved anything.
Yeah.
You only regressed instead of progressed. Like, I mean, so
yeah. And 2, what do you think may possibly be some keys to win in Austin this weekend?
getting DJ Lagway back.
Okay.
I mean, that's
I think that's pretty fair. I mean, like just how you said, Carson Beck gives them the best chance to win. I mean, honestly, DJ Lagway is the only option they have to win. But again, like what I saw on Saturday really gave me promise for next season for Florida. Like I know I as a Georgia fan, I do give Florida fans, flack and stuff, but I had a feeling early on that game. I was like, yeah, this defense is definitely going to have a time, trying to keep this man from running. And
I
that's
mean, they didn't
exactly
do
what
a
happened.
bad job of it when he was in the game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, don't get me wrong, he still did his thing. But I mean,
Yeah.
he only had 46 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Was that passing or
Yeah,
rushing?
passing. Yeah, passing before he got.
So I
Before he got.
mean,
And he
yeah,
had a bomb.
he
He
could.
had a bomb for a touchdown too.
I know. I saw, and I mean, he did. He did good. I mean,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, but that was for what 2 quarters, not even a full 2 quarters.
Yeah.
So that's. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying, like, would he have been able to sustain that for the rest of the game? Is my question. Like, that's
Fair.
why I said I can't sit here and say that it would have been a different outcome had he stayed in the game. Because being a running quarterback is fine and dandy, but he was taking some shots. He
Yeah.
was taking some shots. Like, I mean, yeah. I
Okay.
mean, it's hard to maintain that level of intensity an entire game, and that's to me that's the only way they would have been able to beat Georgia is to maintain that.
Yeah.
Okay. But I kudos to them for fighting. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest with you. Like, I mean, you down to your 3rd string quarterback, and the only competition he's seen was at Yale, which I'm not saying Yale's not a good program at all, but they're not the SEC, and they definitely are not the Georgia defense. So I mean that's hard. That's tough. Like, you know what I'm saying? To be the 3rd man on the depth chart, now you're the 2nd man on the depth chart because of an injury. Then to be thrown into that game against arguably one of the best defenses in college football. It's tough. It's tough. Like, I mean, again, like I said, it's rare that you'll have a backup that is just game ready mentally. I mean, you could be physically in game shape all day long, but mentally it's different because you can practice great all you want to, but when game day hit, it's different. Right. I mean, you got people moving, the crowd is yelling, like it's a lot. It's a lot, you know, a whole lot. So I mean, I think Georgia next year will be okay, but I personally think the rest of this season pretty much cooked for them. Okay. You know, okay. Which, I mean, if you want to argue with me, I mean, just kind of look at what you got in front of you. Right. I mean, honestly. Yeah. So, I mean,
which listen, I think that's a great mark to go ahead and close that. Another great outdoor cocktail party in the books. Let's go on over to College Station, Pennsylvania for a minute. I'm sorry, University Park, Pennsylvania for a minute. Ohio State, Penn State, brother. What were your initial thoughts after this game?
Before the game, I was like, Ohio State is gonna win because James Franklin can't win the big. But during the game, I was like, okay, this is a different energy of Penn State.
This was the game where we were at odds too, you know.
Right. Yeah. So I thought, I mean, I said at the beginning that I thought Ohio State was gonna win, but as game went on, I'm like, okay, Penn State had a certain energy, you know, and I'm like, okay, Penn State might just win this thing. Mm-hmm. But then as the game went on, I'm like, is it Will Howard? That's his name, quarterback for Ohio State. He played like he had a chip on his shoulder because Penn State told him that he wasn't good enough, and I respect it. Yeah, I mean, outside of his arm, just the plays he made, you know, with his feet were interesting to me. Like, he knew the importance of every possession. You know, it wasn't a high scoring game, which I wouldn't expect it to be. But a big win for Ohio State. That was a big win for them.
100%.
Big win. I mean, so
I do want to point out something real quick, and this is definitely going to sound a little maybe biased. I don't care, but as a Georgia fan, I can understand where Penn State fans come from as far as when you lose big games. I've witnessed Georgia lose to Alabama quite a lot. But at the same time, there has to be a boundary between when you lose a game and then when you lose a game, if that makes sense. What I mean is, after this game, the amount of fans that came at the railings going at James Franklin for the loss, you can't do that. Like, don't risk losing your privilege to go to these games, because it's a privilege. It's not a obligation. It's a privilege to be able to go to these games, and then trying to make a point. Like, he understands he's not winning these games. He understands that he's on the hot seat. He understands that. He doesn't need you to tell him that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he gets it. But that's what I'm saying. I know where you're about to go. But at the same time, there has to be that threshold. Like,
so let me ask you this: you in the same position, with Bama, right? Mm-hmm. Only difference is you got 2 championships to show for it, and you beat Bama in the championship game, right? And I believe that's your only win, so you can hang that over them. Mm-hmm. What can Penn State hang over Ohio State the last 10 years? Right. So if you was in the same position as a Penn State fan, you would be pissed. Yeah. Because I've heard you be pissed at Kirby Smart. Mm-hmm. And y'all got 2 championships and beat Bama in the championship.
Yeah.
The only game you can't get over is Bama. That's it. And you've gotten over that to win the championship. And then you win the championship the next year. So y'all got no complaining. You can't complain. You can't. No. I understand completely what Penn State fans feel. Like, yes, Franklin knows that. We are obviously we know that. But you think about it. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not that over the top fan that's gonna go to the railing and let you hear it. Mm-hmm. But I get it. Like, you put money into this team, you defend this team, you give this team your time, you go to the games, you watch the recruiting trail, you literally spend so much time invested into this team. Other people won't get it. I get it. That's fine. This was supposed to be you guys' year. Like, if any other years was all the rest of the years was up and down, this was the year. Because you were good. You had people coming back. You had your defense was solid. Your offense was good. Y'all beat, you know what I'm saying, some big teams and won some big games. Y'all was ranked in the top 5, top 10. This was the year you were supposed to do it. And you didn't do it. So therefore, thinking of a minor fan, therefore thinking we're never gonna beat them. We're never gonna get over the hump. That is, think about
it. Yeah.
Prime example with you. Had you not beat Bama in the national championship and then not won the championship the following season, you would be in the same position. We're never getting over this hump. We're never gonna win a championship. I have faith that we will because I'm a fan and I'm just gonna rock with my team. But then you're gonna say realistically, we're not gonna ever win one. That's the same thing Penn State fans are feeling right now. It's passion.
Yeah.
That's just why we love college football, because of the fans. The fans would make college football so much more better.
Yeah.
Like, they're passionate about their team. Like, think about it. You go to a whiteout game, you don't go for the football team. You go to see all the white in all the stadium and how that stadium get the shaking and the sounds and the music and the 13th man on the field being the stadium, the fans. So, me personally, as long as you don't throw nothing at the coach and all that, you can heckle all you want to because you earned that right as a fan. Why? Because Franklin wouldn't be paid the salary that he's paid if it not been for you as a fan. You know, NIL money. You know how many fans put into the NIL pot for these teams? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you spend your hard-earned money because you love this team so much. You've been rocking with this team since the 1960s. Seen them have glory. Seen them fall. Now you seeing them possibly about to rise again. As a Penn State fan, I would be pissed. Because
no, I 100%. I 100% understand the frustration, and I'm not telling them to be mad. Be as angry as you want, but at the same time, my thing is James Franklin knew how big this game was, and to lose by 6 points, 7 points, it's heartbreaking, especially at home. You lose that way at home where you have literally two head coaches who need to win this game to not only save their season, but their career at that school. So I get it 100%. But at the same time, there has to be that threshold. And granted, from the video I saw of the fans going at him, it wasn't as bad. But like you said, to prevent a potential, happening like how we saw at Georgia, Texas, and then what just happened
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not the wrong person to ask about that, Georgia. I think that was beautiful.
When they threw the bottles on the field?
Because the call wouldn't have been overturned if it wouldn't have been for the fans.
I'm not talking necessarily about the call, but I'm just talking about the repercussions of the call.
I know, but just think about it. These people, like, you spent
I get it.
all your
money. You pay money, but as a fan, you still have listen. Texas has literally identified, which is insane to me. They have identified most of the people that were throwing stuff on the field. Don't jeopardize what you just put in. You know what I'm saying?
They didn't hurt nobody. All they did was cross
but at the same time, you just lost your tickets for the season because you decided to make an action that was really not even called for.
And
Like,
get what?
you can boo, you can cuss,
And
but
get what?
when you start throwing stuff on the,
we got TVs. We got 80-inch
I mean,
TVs.
that's fine. You can watch it from home.
But guess what?
Like, bro, me and you both know nothing beats being in a stadium. Come on,
it's
now.
wonderful. But when's the last time I've been to a game? It's been like 4 years, right? But what do I watch the games at mostly?
Oh
TV.
my God! Yeah,
and I am the greatest couch Auburn fan ever. So
right.
I'm just saying that the purpose, the beauty of being at home is for your fans. You got to think like I'm not condoning like harming players, throwing stuff at players or whatever. Only reason I said I rock with that because there's no players over there. All they did, they just didn't agree with the call, which I didn't agree with it at first either.
I don't think anybody did, but yeah.
I'm saying like the initial call.
Yeah.
But then you throw it on the field, and then you allow time for the coaches to. Because think about it, we haven't seen nobody throw no goddamn bottles on the field like that in that fashion in the last few years that I've seen. I haven't seen
since like Tennessee when it happened at Tennessee.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it in that capacity before.
Yeah.
You know, but that was big because the fans literally helped cause that overturning of that call and potentially gave like. Sometimes you just need a little help from your fans. Like, don't get me wrong, I get it. You know what I'm saying? They can't get whatever. I understand that. Nobody, but and then with the Penn State to get back on topic, with the Penn State, long as you're not throwing nothing at anybody, not spitting on anybody, not putting hands on anybody, you have the right to go to the railing and say what you feel. We fans at the end of the day. Like, I'm a different type of fan. I'm not finna go do all that. I just don't think it's that deep. You know what I'm saying? Just me personally, how I move.
Yeah.
But if I go up there and say something, I feel like I got every right to, because you know what I'm saying? Because this school wouldn't be thriving like this had I not invested my time. Because think about all the times you as a Georgia fan, me as an Auburn fan, how much mess we put up with when we lose or when we don't look as good as we do, you know, but we still go buy the clothes, we still defend the team, we still create arguments, you know what I'm saying? Like, for me personally, right now, everybody talking crap about my team because we're not being good. So I still have to defend them. I still have to take those on the chin. I still go buy the apparel. And if I was able to, I buy the tickets. I do all of this. So you go through a lot being a fan. Don't get me wrong. It's not nearly as much as what the players and the coaches go through, but you still go through some stuff being a fan. So I personally let them have it. Like he say, you tired of living it. Aren't you tired of living in Bama shadow? I know you are. You know what I'm saying? So just imagine if you hadn't ever beat Bama. You don't beat them in a championship. You don't win a championship. You don't get close to one. You finally get close to one, and you lose again. You're literally undefeated up until the game that you supposed to, that you always mess up on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, and prime example, you was just like that against Bama. You was just like that against Bama. Everybody didn't see it. Nobody saw it. But I was here. I seen you. I seen you rip them a new one. When Georgia lost to Bama, talking about how y'all couldn't get past Bama and all that. So I don't want to hear it. Cause you the same as these Penn State fans trying to.
But I've identified that though. I've identified that. I understand. We can't get over the hump. Like, I've identified that.
I pretty much think they identified that they can't get over the hump too, but it's still that's just like drive. You can't quite get over there, but you like I just can't get over here. Yeah. But you hoping that you put this pedal to the metal, you gonna get over that hump, and if you still don't, then you gonna be mad.
Right.
Just like you was mad when y'all lost to Bama again, even though you knew y'all couldn't get over the hump of beating Bama. Y'all lost to them. You was more pissed after the game than you was going into it. Right. It's the same thing. It's just you was watching it from home and they was watching it live. You know what I'm saying? You got 2 championships in the last 3 years. They got 0. You got playoff appearances in the last few years. They have 0.
Oh no.
So as a fan, you are pissed. You pissed.
You're right.
Like I mean, I'm just being honest. They just did it on TV and in front of people. We do it at home on the couch. It's the only difference.
Absolutely.
But
Well,
anyway, go ahead.
I do also want to point out the fact of, you know, this it and honestly, this game definitely fell on James Franklin. So I would genuinely say, okay, hey, y'all have a right, because it was really towards the later parts of the game where things kind of started falling apart for Penn State. Especially, I want to say there was a goal line stance where they ran the same play twice, if I'm not mistaken. And as just watching the game, you're like, come on, like, are you not trying to win the game? Don't go for it twice, because me and you had a discussion about that as well. Like, we were saying, hey, don't throw the ball, like, run it in. You have Nicholas Singleton, you have what's the other guy's name? Katron Allen. Use your running back. You literally have. I really feel like the running back cores that these teams have now have been excelling to a whole nother height in college football this season. So you have two talented guys like that in your backfield. Utilize them. But no, he goes for two passing plays, and then, we got onto the topic of, well, why not run a goal line fade if you're gonna throw it? But then we realized that might not be a option you want to run either. If you, especially the way these quarterbacks are jumping out of the gym now, you get a pick, and so it just was a lot of questions, on that possession and that drive. I kind of sympathize with the fans on that one, but at the same time, it's just like, man, that was their game to win now. So
Right.
yeah.
Right. I've said this forever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Penn State has been good for a while. They've been good. They just can't win the right games that they need to. They just can't get over that hump. And this was the year. It was like we finally look like we can possibly get over that hump, and you fail. So who gets the blame for all of that? The coach. I mean, that's the first fall guy. Like, I mean, like, that's you know that's the one that green lights the plays. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's like, you gotta win those games, especially in college. You can get away with it for a little bit in the NFL, but college,
No,
nah,
you can't do that.
you see, it ain't working. It
Right.
ain't working.
Well, I again, like, you definitely talked about the way that Will Howard played, but I also want to again shout out Quinshawn Judkins, 95 yards, Jeremiah Smith, Emeka Ibuka getting in for a touchdown. Uh, Man, defense looked. This was that defensive game. So I've really been talking about, the way, of course, this team is worth a lot of money. We're talking like $20 million, right? And they've bragged about how much they've spent on this team. So this game was a must win for Ohio State, like, to show people, like, yeah, we spent this much money, so we're gonna play like how much we're worth. So yeah, I mean, hey, they got it done. They Ohio State plays against Purdue next week, and Penn State plays Washington. So
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Ohio State pretty much got
they're cruising.
a bounce
They're in
back
cruise
game
control.
to where they get more confidence.
Mhm.
And then Penn State has a game that they literally probably have to fight for.
Yeah,
Possibly.
because if I'm not mistaken, uh, Washington's quarterback, a very familiar name, Will Rogers from Mississippi State, been playing pretty solid this season. 2,200 yards, 13 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. So he's. I mean, of course, the record doesn't really speak for itself. They're 5-4 right now, but they've had some really solid wins this season. So gonna be one to kind of check out. I might have to check that one out at 8 o'clock on Peacock this upcoming Saturday. So yeah, I think we can close the chapter on that matchup. But yeah, now we just gotta wait for Ohio State and Michigan. Really see how that one comes out.
Nobody want to see that mess. The way Michigan playing, they can't throw it in the ocean if they was on the sand.
I wanted to talk, bro. When I tell you, I want to talk about that game so bad against Oregon, but it's no point. It's no point.
Bro,
Let
them joker
I was
couldn't
I
throw it to
if
themselves.
if people don't understand by now, I troll a lot, so I love just to see the reactions on y'all face when y'all like, why would you want to talk about that? So
Bro,
it
nobody want to talk about Michigan and Ohio State, man.
it is.
That game in past, yes. But it looks like to me, Michigan's streak of beating Ohio State is coming to an end this
Oh
year.
yeah. Oh yeah. It's in good fashion, brother. In good fashion. But yeah, man, let's talk about this oh my goodness, this A&M South Carolina game, bro. Let me tell you about that boy Lenore Sellers, Mr. Thick Ass Goggles. He didn't wear the goggles this game, by the way.
Yeah, he's
He
been playing 10 times better without him.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And you
Yeah,
know what's
yeah,
it was it's something that I wanna point out too. And I mean, bro, this is a crazy stat line, by the way. So he threw for 244 yards this past game, correct? But you want to know it was another game where he's thrown for over 200 yards as well. You know that game. You know what that game was
what's that?
when they played against Alabama,
Yeah.
but they lost by only a little bit. So you mean to tell me when this man throws for over 200 yards, they win big? Because if he's known for running the ball, this man can run out of this
Well,
world.
I mean, I
Between
don't
him,
think he's no. I mean, he could throw it, but
yeah,
I think they South Carolina is one of those teams that had to find their identity too.
hmm
They was just trying
yeah,
to figure things out. Um, I think he's got confidence now. That's what I think.
yeah,
You know, he's seen
100.
he can hang with Bama. He's seen that they can actually make something shake. It's just a little bit too late. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
they finally, South Carolina, this whole season has been one of them teams that's been right there with everybody. Like, I mean, right
you
there.
you just pointed it out too, and I'm glad you said it early. Between Vandy, Kentucky, South Carolina, those have been the three trap teams in the SEC for 100%. 100%. And for South Carolina to have gotten this win at home against number 10 Texas A&M just sent shockwaves, not only in college football but in the SEC, because they finally got that win that they should have gotten in Alabama.
Right. And then A&M, they have the one loss in conference play now.
Yeah.
So,
And yeah, man, and overall as well, they're no longer undefeated. But I'm not gonna lie, I don't think nobody saw it coming against South Carolina. And if you did, then of course you were probably a South Carolina fan. But
of course, I mean, but
but
even still, you was like throwing it in the ocean like, like, we supposed to win.
say that again.
I said it probably was like, we might not win this game, but
Yeah,
we feel like we supposed to win it. Like
right.
that's how that's because like this is like being a fan of anybody. You want
Mhm.
your team, you feel like your team is gonna win every week, but you realistically like, yeah, we probably not gonna win this game.
Right,
But
we're probably
you
not.
know what I'm saying? So I mean, South Carolina fans, I mean, what a win for them. And then you got them with college basketball coming back in, so that's a beautiful thing. And I actually like South Carolina. I think South Carolina has always been one of those teams that
Yeah,
can give you their best foot and upset you every now and again. And I think moving forward, I mean, after this year, I mean, it looks like they have their quarterback for the future. So I mean,
I've been saying it. I've genuinely been saying it, and especially man between Lenore Sellers and Raheem Sanders, man, that between those two, you just never know who.
Sanders is a monster.
Yeah, one of the definitely one of the top running backs in the in the SEC this season, and also definitely want to go ahead and throw this news out there. Texas A&M running back Le'Veon Moss. Yeah, Le'Veon Moss out for the season. Some unfortunate news that broke right before we went on today.
Dang.
So yeah, man, unfortunate,
That
super
hurt
unfortunate.
to
Another
get
dog.
this far, and then you got one more month left. Y'all was making a playoff push because A&M could very well be in the playoff picture.
Yeah.
I think this. I know it's a little off topic. I know at the beginning of the season we was like, how is this 12-team playoff gonna be exciting? How the 14 playoff was, trying to figure out who was in and everything like that. I think it's so much more exciting now because we don't know. Like, we know we're gonna get the conference champions. We know we're gonna get that, but then how does everything else shake up?
Yeah.
2-loss teams and things like that. Bama actually has a chance to make some shake if they went out. Like, how does this go? Are you taking the top ranked teams after the conference championship? You know what I'm saying? Also, if like Georgia wins the conference and this team, Oregon wins, how do we do this? I think this is so much more exciting right now. Like,
right.
We don't know. It's so many possibilities.
And that's so good for the sport because you get teams like this. Like, it's an upset dang near happening every other week, or if not every week, and that literally shakes up the top 25 even more. Now Alabama has jumped back into the top 12 after 3 upsets happening. So it's that ever evolving door that we talk about. So now you have your G5 teams coming in that could potentially be Boise State. I'm sorry, Boise State will be in the top 12, but you have teams like UNLV that could potentially be in the picture. Army could be in the picture. I'm missing a school, either Army or Navy. I mean, really, it's up in the air with the G5 schools. So it's man, I love it. I love it. I am a fan. I'm on board. I'm excited to see how this goes. In the future. So yeah, it's great. But yeah, man, all of these schools that we really didn't think would get involved for real are making that push. So yeah. I think that is great. That is great. That is great. That is great. So Louisville, Clemson, or are we good on A&M in South Carolina?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Hey, good win, South Carolina, man. Good win, South Carolina.
Yeah.
Now, let's go. Let's go on down to Dabo Land and
This
see
was
what.
going to be an interesting matchup because Louisville has been one of those sleeper teams too.
Yeah.
So, dang.
Bro, you are taking all the words out of my mouth today, and I don't. Because I was thinking that too. Like, Louisville's always on the cusp.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me that Louisville beats Clemson, but it's like, dang, Clemson was on a roll. They only had one loss, and that one loss was to Georgia, which is now the number 2 team in the country or whatever. It's like, bro, like y'all had a chance to finish out strong, but I mean, this is college football. It's college football.
And what's so crazy about this game was I don't think Clemson is bad because of this loss. I think they just got that extra punch in the mouth, like, hey, wake up call. You're about to go into November, like you say. The team must win in November, so this is that extra kick that they needed to, like, hey, get it together because you will not be playing come December and January if you're lacking. And I mean, it was what Coach Dabo needed as a wake up call. When you have a team like Louisville that has weapons like Ja'Cory Brooks and the quarterback Tyler Slow. I'm sorry if I'm butchering his last name, but guys are talents. You know what I'm saying? Like and they showed it when they played against Miami. they almost beat Miami. So it just goes to show like any given week,
Right.
it can happen. But K Klubnik, 228 yards, 1 touchdown. They were down at the half bad, brother. Like it was 17-7 at the half, and then they didn't score again until the fourth quarter. So yeah, bro, Clemson was just dragging
I feel
along.
like that they needed that going into
Yeah.
November and going into the playoffs. Like you
Mm-hmm.
gotta have some adversity,
Yeah.
you know, to rally together. So I mean, it could be potentially good for them because it's so crazy because they number two, they got 2 losses, and it's like who's in? Like we know
Yeah.
who's in, but like okay, who's the rest of the teams? And I
Right.
think this is gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting, but I mean, Clemson handled business. They had a game plan. They stuck to it and executed it. To near perfection.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I
Listen, if
mean,
this was their game plan, I mean,
it
hey,
wasn't nothing like that spectacular. It
yeah,
didn't,
yeah,
that stuck out. It's just they stuck to their guns and
yeah.
made it happen.
Well, there was also a questionable play call by Clemson in the fourth when they scored. They scored, and a lot of people were calling for them to go for two, and they took the field goal. And a lot of people looked at Coach Dabo like, "Hey, like, what was the thought process behind that? Like, you're down literally by I want to say it was either 13, and you could have cut the lead down to 11 if you go for two. Why not just go for two? You know what I'm saying? So it was some questionable calls this game. A lot of people still probably thinking about it. Even come Monday today. So I don't know, but again, this was probably that punch in the mouth they needed. Again to start off November, and yeah, now you just gotta win. You gotta win. You have
Right.
to win. Have to win. So, but on the other note, today is also the first day of college basketball. Um, how you feeling? Any thoughts? Now that the season is starting out, what you thinking? Hold on. First of all, big Auburn fan right here. Big Auburn fan. Coach Bruce Pearl and all, but also on the other side of the ball, you're a huge South Carolina fan.
Well, South Carolina for women's, that's my
Mhm.
team.
Yeah,
That's my team, and Auburn for the men's. Obviously, that's my team.
yeah,
Reigning SEC champs, so hopefully we do it again, but we make a stronger push in the tourney. So I mean, I'm hoping for a good season for us. We got some really good players in, and we've seen what Bruce Pearl can do with good players and
yeah,
average players and make players better and everything like that.
yeah.
So I mean, I just hope that we get it together, we stay healthy, and we make a push. Come March,
Uh,
because I was excited the last time when we went to the Final Four and
mm.
everything. It was a fun time. Fun time. Didn't end fun at all. But yeah, I was lit. I was lit. I was lit.
Yeah, and you know what? And I'll be honest here. I usually don't cheer for Georgia basketball. I just genuinely don't get a chance to really watch their games for real. But I'm actually just excited to see what they do this season. They got a lot of big guys that came in. Actually, a guy from my hometown, Jonesboro, is actually playing for Georgia now. Dakota LaFew. So it's a few key guys. Blue Kane is coming back this season. So yeah, some key guys coming in for Georgia. So I'm excited to see what they do. And also on the women's side, I definitely can say I root for South Carolina as well. I guess we can be bandwagon fans for
Right.
South Carolina, but yeah, man, excited to see how this college basketball season goes. Of course, there's a lot of storylines that are starting to build up, and of course, some big names that are now in the pros. So excited to really see who shines this season. I
Yeah,
think
and in
that's
the
all we
women's,
can see.
I'm excited to see what
Malaysia Fuwali.
I'm excited to see for Wiley. That's my girl there. I think
Yeah,
she's gonna ball out. I'm also excited to see how Flage
yeah,
handles her first year without Angel Reese.
hmm
Because it's now Flage's team.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
I'm excited to see how LSU does with that. See how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, on both sides, it's gonna be interesting.
You,
Yeah, I'm
what
good.
you
Go
were
ahead.
saying?
Go ahead.
I wanted to add on to that. I came across a video today of last year poll for LSU. Man, I knew she was a good player, a great player, but man, her workouts insane. Like she hooper. I'm excited. That's another player I wanted to add on that I'm excited to see as well this year
Oh,
for LSU.
think about it. I'm excited to see the UConn girl with Paige
Oh
Buckles
yeah,
coming
Paige
back,
Beckers.
and they're actually being healthy. Cause think
Mm-hmm.
about it.
Yeah.
Connecticut made it. I mean, UConn made it that far.
Mm-hmm.
Their entire starting five, instead of Paige, was hurt,
Yeah.
and they made it that far. So
Yeah.
just imagine if they stay healthy. Like it's but
It's
this would be the first. This would be an interesting season because you don't have Angel Reese, you don't have Caitlin Clark, which were the two big names in women's college basketball, the pioneers, if you would say, so
yeah.
to speak. For like the NIL and the women, getting the same respect as the men and all that type of stuff. Well, I won't say pioneers because they're young, but you know what I mean? Like they were the one to push the agenda forward further than a lot of people ever have. So without them this year, how does the viewership go? Does the finals game, the championship game still have that umph that it did last year? Does it and the year before that? So I mean, it's
Yes.
interesting to see. Interesting to
That's
see.
and that's so crazy that again, brother, you are pointing out a lot. It really could be a toss up for who wins the championship for women's this year. I mean, with UConn, with LSU, with South Carolina. I mean, those are three really great teams that we just named that are
And they're
potentially
very
championship
well coached. All
contenders.
three of those are very well coached.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. I mean, Gino Oriyama. You got Coach Staley, and then you have Coach.
Kim Mulkey.
Yeah, yeah. So Kim Oki. So all legends and great to see. So yeah, I know where I will be come tonight. It's a lot of sports on tonight. We got NFL, we got NBA, and we got college basketball coming back. So man, thank God for YouTube TV.
But yeah, YouTube TV is a beautiful thing.
I'm telling you. But yeah, man, let me go ahead and pull
Tell
up
them
these.
Joe they need a sponsor so it'll be free.
I'm trying to tell you, bro. We've been pushing YouTube TV so much, it is insane. Like we are really
Hey, YouTube
pushing.
TV, we need a sponsorship.
Right.
YouTube
Exactly.
TV, get it today.
Exactly. I'm telling you, man. We are huge supporters and payment makers of, of YouTube TV.
Man, what?
I'm telling you, they are going to make sure that that money is pulled out of your account.
Oh, that mother gonna get hit. That mother gonna get hit. But for sure.
For sure. What is it? The 7th of every month?
For me, yep.
Yeah. Yep. So in due time, my brother, in due time. I got logged out of Instagram, so I'm logging back in. All right, let's go to 1-3. All right, let's pull up these matchups for this weekend. All right, starting out at 12 Saturday, ESPN. All right, I just got logged out again. Let's see here. I'm gonna get it. All right, we're good. I was just about to get into some good matchups too. All right, Saturday, 12 Eastern, ESPN. Number 4 Miami and Georgia Tech. Who you got?
Miami. I think the
All right.
offense for Miami gonna be a little too much for Tech.
Yeah. Having I'm guessing Haynes King is out for Georgia Tech. We've been seeing the backup. I think if I'm not mistaken, I think the backup has been playing the last 2 weeks when they played against Notre Dame, and then he played this past week. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. I'm gonna have to dive a little deeper into that. But yeah, I'm gonna take Miami. Cam Ward, insane. Xavier Restrepo, insane. All just Miami, they just got to work on that defense and get that together. But I think Miami should take care of business. 12 Eastern as well. What is happening? I keep getting logged out.
They don't want you to be great, my brother.
They don't want me to be great today. I don't know what's going on with Instagram. That is insane. I was rocking and rolling too. But it was 12. It was 12 Eastern ESPN. It was I just lost it. That is unacceptable, Instagram. Like, get it together. Jeez, man. Embarrassing us on the pod. Florida and Texas, number 5 Texas. Who you got?
Texas.
All right. 3:30 Eastern, CBS, Michigan, number 5 Indiana. Who you got? I'm sorry, number 8 Indiana. Who you got?
I got Indiana.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Indiana this game. Michigan is wow. Okay, keep getting logged out. Don't know what's going on. Let's see here.
This is why we have a backup.
We always have backups. This is why I'm always carrying around a tablet and a laptop because things like this always want to happen when I'm trying to be great here. Let's see here. And I mean, when we were rolling in the deep, my brother. All right. We just hit Michigan and Indiana.
Yep.
All right. 4 p.m. on Fox. Number 21, Colorado and Texas Tech. Who you got?
Colorado.
I think I'm going to roll with Colorado. Texas Tech coming off
Colorado's making the playoffs this year. You heard it from me first.
We're gonna see. Texas Tech coming off a big win, upset win. Just don't think they can get it done. And they're at home. I don't think they do it against Colorado. So yeah, I'm gonna take Colorado. Save that one for last. Let's go ahead and hit 3:30 p.m. ABC. Number 2 Georgia, number 16 Ole Miss. We kind of talked about it a little bit earlier in the pod. Who you got?
I got Georgia.
My boys better handle business. I think they get it done. Nothing holding them back. They should definitely get the job done.
Oh, for sure. This should be.
Yeah. There should be no room for error. I'm gonna just go ahead and hit it. We're right there. 12 p.m. on Fox. Number 3 Ohio State at Purdue.
Obviously, Ohio State.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. Might as well 3:30 ESPN. Number 19 Clemson and Virginia Tech. Who you got?
I think Clemson has a good bounce back game. I think they go for it.
Yeah. Kyron Drones didn't play the last game. Hopefully he returns this game. If so, could be an interesting matchup, but I still think Clemson gets the upper hand and they should get the win. A tale of the two sleeper teams and the two teams that could genuinely just come into your home and just give you all type of emotions. South Carolina at number 24, Vandy. Who you got?
Ooh, this is a solid matchup.
Mm-hmm. Bro, spread is 3.5 going South Carolina's way.
I think South Carolina gets it done.
Yeah. This is
capitalizing off of this last week. So yeah. I think so. Dang, but it's going to be a good game, honestly.
Both are coming off of 2 great wins, man. But I think again, South Carolina coming off that ranked win against A&M, and I mean just to see how well they did against Marcel Reed. Granted, this was really his first official start, if I'm not mistaken. I think they're just still reeling off of this win against Texas A&M. So I'm gonna take South Carolina too, and also saving the best for last here. 7:30 p.m. ABC. We got number 11 Alabama against number 14 LSU. Who you got?
Ooh,
Yeah. Definitely keep your
Bama
eyes
only
peeled.
if they're healthy.
Who?
Bama only if they're healthy.
Okay.
Meaning that they have a lot of injuries in that secondary.
Yeah.
Oh. And they coming off a bye week, and we've seen how they do when they come off a bye week. So. I'm going with
I think
Bama.
LSU was on a bye week as well. I don't think LSU played anybody this past week. So two teams coming off bye weeks.
That's what I'm saying. Last time we saw that happen, we saw what happened.
Yeah.
So I think Bama, because I think Bama has a lot more to prove right now. Like that they can, they can make some shape, man.
Yeah.
The LSU is just a little too suspect for me right now.
Yeah. I think that secondary really is struggling too on LSU's side of the ball, but I think Garrett Nussmeier really gets the job done. But I'm going to go ahead and take Alabama. So the sweep has finally happened, ladies and gentlemen, this season. I think we got a full sweep of our predictions. Me and Stackz have finally agreed.
I didn't want to jinx it. I was here that
I was like,
this
I had to go ahead and put it out there. I think that's the first time this season where we've agreed on all of our picks. Yeah, I think it happens. I think it happens this week. So yeah. All right, y'all. Well, listen, this has been another phenomenal episode of the College Couch Podcast. We cannot thank you guys enough for hanging out with us for this hour. And yeah, man, thank you. Continue to support us. Continue to like, comment, subscribe, and share the pod. Got to make sure I ain't cussing on here. And again, thank y'all so much. We cannot thank y'all so much for y'all support. We love y'all. And yeah, Stackz, my brother, take us home, please.
Yeah, man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. I can't believe the season is a month from ending, but we appreciate y'all for rocking with us for every up, every down, every big moment, every upset, everything like that. If you got a player that needs some shine, is doing their thing, but ain't getting the shine that they deserve, we'd love to cover them and have them on the College Cow Podcast and give them the shine that they're due. Just inbox or DM me or Javaris, or hit the College Couch page, either one, and we'll respond. We'll have them on. We'll get them their shine. But we appreciate the love and support. Y'all like, subscribe, share, tell a friend, tell their auntie, cousin, they brother them to holler at us. The College Couch Podcast is where it's at. What a mouthful to say, but we got some bills to pay. Feel like James Winston. I'm just rhyming just now. You know what I'm saying? Nick Nat Patty Whack.
Oh yeah, going home. That's enough out of you.
Wake up, I gotta go get it. Wake up,